Okay, I got two questions, two related questions on this. I think I'll make one video to address both the questions. The first question is, how does the blueprint forms, and can you give one example? Then the other person is asking, is the blueprint formed when the children are small by the parents? Okay, so to both of these, I have one example from which happened in my life. I want to share that with you. Like we all know, like I am a software engineer. I live in Seattle area. I have a very good friend of mine who is also a software engineer living in Seattle area. Like he makes a six-figure salary. He has a family, like a wife and two children, and he's a good friend of mine. I'm taking the example from his life. One day, some incident happened where I was going in his car. He was driving the car. He was driving a small car. The car is, I think it's Corolla. It's a small car for a family of four. There are two children. They have growing children. They have. Then I asked him, because I know him very well. I know that whatever I ask him, whatever I tell him, it's with a good intention. So I asked him, because you have a growing family, why don't you have a bigger car? Then I said, then also he said that he paid $25,000 and he bought a used car. So buying a used car is not a problem. But he bought, he said all $25,000, he gave it like a down payment, and he bought the car for $25,000. Then I told him, instead of that, you could have given $25,000 or whatever it is, the down payment, and certain percentage you could have taken loan and bought a slightly bigger car, because you have a family, a growing family. You are not like one person. So you could have bought a bigger car and take little loan. The moment I said that, he did not even hesitate a single second, as if the answer is right at the tip of his tongue. He immediately said, even those $25,000 I could not afford. It was very difficult for me to afford those $25,000. As if he was waiting for me to ask that question. Immediately, even I did not complete my sentence, he just blurted it out, saying that even it was very difficult for me to afford those $25,000. Of course, it is difficult for anybody. Even when I came, it was difficult for me, but I took loan. Everybody does that. That's the way we all buy things. A certain amount we do down payment, certain amount we do a loan, and we quickly try to pay up the loan, and that's normal life cycle here. See, it is not about that part. When he said it was difficult for him to afford, it was as if he has a ready-made answer just on his tip of his tongue. The moment I completed my question, he just blurted it out. When he said it was difficult for me to even to afford the $25,000, he was having a sense of victimhood in his eyes, in his emotion. That victimhood and a sense of I wouldn't say pride, a sense of a kind of juicy feeling he had. Like I could not afford, meaning it's something like I'm a victim. This is the difficulty I'm going through in my life. See, I know him very well. I know him fairly well. He is not going through any difficulties, but his mindset is like that. So the question the person asked, is it built, how the children, they get their blueprint? That's what the question is. How the kids, for the children, how the blueprint is formed? Is it formed by parents? Exactly. Please understand, you take this example and watch that few times. If you understand this example that I am giving you this video, you will understand completely how the blueprint is formed. Please understand very clearly. It is not how many times you repeat something. Like, it is not that you repeat, I'm a millionaire, nothing will happen. Here, my friend, when he said that even $25,000 was difficult for him to afford, number one, he has an deep-rooted emotion in that. He has holding on to the feeling that comes out of that. He's holding on to it so dearly. So dearly he's holding on to it. Even when I wanted to try to tell him something, like at that time I told him, after he told me, when I came to this country, like my situation was not as strong as his. Even then I bought a new car and I took loan. I told him all that. He was not ready to listen to any of that. See, this person, not only he makes a 6-figure salary, he has at least easily 20 years of career ahead of him as a software engineer. 20 years ahead, he has 20 years more. So what I'm saying is, what you repeat is not just important. Nobody repeats that I am a poor man, I am a poor. Nobody does that. It is the emotion to which you hold on to. That is what determines your blueprint. So I answered 2 questions actually here. How the blueprint is formed, how it is formed for the children. Imagine, for those children, what might have happened on the dining table when they sit for dinner. The kids may say, I want this toy. Or when they go to mall, kids may ask, I want this toy or something. He would have told many times, we can't afford these things. That means at an young age, we cannot afford. This is something beyond our reach, is already formed in the children. That is what in the dining table, like what all the conversations we generally have. Oh, things are becoming very expensive. Inflation is hitting. We are not able to afford these things. Education is expensive. Clothes are expensive. We all talk about these things repeatedly, and the emotion associated with that. That is what the most important part. The emotion and holding on to that feeling. If you understand this, you just need to flip it. In the same way, when somebody is if somebody repeats, I'm a millionaire, nothing is going to happen. You have to hold on to the feeling of you becoming a millionaire. That is the knack. That is the trick you need to understand. So, to answer the question, how the blueprint is formed, this is precisely how the blueprint is formed. If you can understand this, you know how to do it. Number 2, how it comes to the children, the example I gave you. I think I answered both the questions. And one more thing I want to tell you is, please ask me questions. As you ask more and more questions, I will be able to relate examples like this from my life. I see all these examples you would have seen even in your life also. So they are not new, you would have seen, but I am able to verbalize them. So it will help for you to. So you ask me questions. When you ask me questions, I will be able to verbalize more and more the way I understand this subject. Hope I have answered your question. Please take care. God bless you. Thank you.